Let's see. We only have one member missing, Todd. He had a different, another engagement today. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 out of 8 members present. So we have a quorum, so we'll call the meeting to order. And we will start with the minutes. And Steph found an edit for this time, so which Rick made. Anybody else have any
It's
comments
just
on
an
the
extra
minutes?
page.
With lots of writing on it.
Like, why didn't I just read that?
The description of the guide rails has 8-foot post, it's 8-inch by 8-inch
Okay.
posts. The $50 a foot option.
Oops, you're there.
So they're 8 inches, not 8 feet.
Oh,
That won't do it, will
8-inch.
8-inch by 8-inch.
The inch room.
8 by 8. Okay.
Any other comments?
Did you say Steph found something?
There was an extra page at the very end that, you know.
Oh, the
sometimes
first
you-
time, oh, yeah.
Yeah, that sometimes that happens.
Do I hear a motion to accept the minutes as amended?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Treasurer's report.
Open space, $200, $214. Rider is static at $4,125. The Hubbardston Preservation Trust, the last printout that I got from Mary Eaton, this was back in September, which seems ancient, and it is almost 6 months, but anyway, $18,223. However, when I asked her later, she sent a different Hubbardston Trust, but this one, it wasn't quite the right number, but there's some numbers that are the same, and it says Barth, which is the investment group, and then INT. What do you think INT stands for?
I hope it's interest.
I think
It's
so.
interest, yeah.
So I'm deducing this because I have requested several times, and they're still busy frying the big fish. So I'm just a little duck. But I'd like these ducks to get lined up soon. I'm being patient, but patience gets you nowhere.
Susan, I think you're mixing your metaphors.
I did,
Big
wasn't
fish
I?
Wait a minute, wait a minute,
duck.
wait a minute.
Yeah,
Fish,
yes,
fish,
you were.
duck.
Recipes.
They're both water related, so it wasn't a big stretch for me.
But anyway, it's still fairly sizable, 18, 18 something. Oh, when you add that in, what did I come up with? 18,384.
And what can that be used again? Refresh my memory, I've only been
It
on
for
the board
open
a
space
year now.
projects, and it's also available to Parks and Rec for various projects.
Oh, so we need to check with them and
Yes.
hopefully they,
Yeah.
who controls it?
They
Parks
do.
and Rec.
They do. Oh,
That's
okay.
by law,
That's state
they
law.
set it up that
Okay,
way.
thank you. That's good to
And
know.
they rarely,
Hope I remember it.
the last thing they
Okay.
took out
We'll
was
remind you.
$1,000. I think it was for the ice cream thing or something.
Hubbardston Heights, we got one tomorrow morning.
Yep. Trying a weekday for a change, and I guess we won't do many more weekdays, at least not when there's 3 feet of snow on the ground. Did you get an email from the leader today?
Yeah,
Oh,
Yep.
that's good. A little strange how that works.
yeah.
Who's that come from, the Appalachian Mountain Club?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some guy named Tim.
Well, let's see.
And I wasn't sure at first if I'm supposed to be a member to be able to
Oh, no.
register, but it didn't
No,
do that, so.
I think years ago you had to be, but not anymore. And I was, originally this was going to be up at Mount Jeff. There was, the parking area was marginally plowed until the big storm.
Yeah.
And now it's
Not plowed.
not very good unless you got four-wheel drive and high clearance.
Yeah.
So we moved it to Malone Road, and I got a new route. I've probably never seen
Moose
it.
tracks and?
Yeah, I was, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna do a loop down there, and I wanted to do it as a ski trip, but, with these warm days, the snow kind of deteriorates in quality for skiing.
Boy, there's a lot of snow out there.
Yeah, yeah.
Steph and I have been doing some snowshoeing, and if you go on, just if you don't have a packed trail, it's a slow boat.
Well, that's, tomorrow, there will be some trail breaking, so,
Eat your Wheaties.
The leader will be. will be
Yeah, isn't that your
much
job?
harder.
Well, that's a great experience for everyone to take a turn doing.
that's right.
With your leadership on how.
I'll volunteer to
break a
go
trail.
last.
And you have good weather
You say you
tomorrow.
got
Yeah.
a new path or new,
It's, well, we're gonna visit an old dam that's located on the, just off the Malone Conservation Area in the DCR land.
That's cool. You've seen that thing.
And it's off trail, so we
If
won't be on
Practicing
trail.
that.
Tim, if I didn't get your email, so I don't know if
Oh.
I'm supposed to. Or was it from Rick?
It was from Rick.
Oh, okay.
Did you
Okay.
get Rick's?
Well, I get a lot of stuff. Let's see. I'm gonna say yes, because I saw a Rick
It
one.
had a link
I did
to a
not.
place to sign up.
Okay. Okay.
It's not
He sent it to
too,
the Friends of Hubbardston Open Space.
Yes.
Yeah.
if you want, I can send you,
No,
Another
no, I must have, it wasn't just today or,
No.
oh, it's a while, okay, I thought I
No,
heard
a week
someone.
ago, or earlier this.
Oh, yeah,
beginning of
I
this
definitely got it
Last week,
and
okay.
saw it, yep.
week. You know, for the
How
weekend.
many people did you
Okay.
get?
I've only got 2 people signed up.
Oh, these two?
Yep.
So I was just wondering about this dam. If I'm out at the Malone Road Conservation Area, our town
Yeah.
conservation area, is it out in those woods somewhere?
Yeah,
A dam? What is it, what did it used to dam up?
just an M at the end.
Ah, yes. Got
Oh, damn, it's a dam. Okay.
So,
Is it sort of toward New Templeton Road? The-
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah, you go down there and there it is, and then if you go left, you can come back to
It's a secret.
French
thing.
Road?
Oh, no, he's
Yeah.
not. You're talking about Old Malone Road.
Oh,
He's not talking about that.
well,
Oh, or are you? You're not talking about Old Malone Road.
Well,
Down to-
that's the way we're gonna start.
New Templeton.
Oh, all right, yeah, we know where that is.
Yeah,
Okay.
haven't been there in a while,
Yeah.
but it will be, once we get through the mud
It's a
season.
great trail for riding.
Yeah.
Well, the part of it that's a trail is, but this is off trail.
yeah.
The
Is it
dam.
on Natty Brook?
No,
Okay. It's another, a tributary to Natty Brook?
I think
Hopefully
so.
it's a yes,
I-
because,
Where else would it go, right? It's
Yeah.
on that hillside.
Well, it's funny because it flows northeast away from
okay,
Natty Brook, or parallel to it, sort of, and then
before it,
I think after crossing New Templeton Road, it turns around,
okay.
I think.
I'll look it up.
Yeah,
I can't make it, even though I have my snowshoes already, 3 pairs of snowshoes all ready to go, whichever ones. Thank you.
Okay, we have those placeholders, which I'm just keeping there, and as the weather gets better, and we'll address those. The land priority group, Tim, Rick, and I met with Anna, making some good progress on that. We'll meet again in about 2 weeks. We get some actions if that suite of land that we had identified. We're going to focus on the Burnshire River watershed side of things, so the properties that abut that. The DCR has some interest in that, so that may be a good thing, and they're all quite large, vacant parcels, no development at all on those properties. So we'll have more on that coming up in the next week as different activities take place. The Mass Trails grant, I guess indirectly, I don't think this was part of the grant, but Dottie Athens sign that we've had on the agenda several times. I did get an input from Jassy that I mailed around. There's a copy of it there that anybody didn't
And the
get.
picture was wonderful. It's just,
And I also, she also sent this picture around, I don't know if people.
does she
have
look
seen
like a
it.
determined person or what? She's just her stature and,
And what's interesting on that is, that's, Jassy said that was taken at the Malone land, Malone Road land, so that's kind of cool. So, now we got something to act on. So we have her input. Anybody have comments on her input?
well, if somebody has input, why don't you do that first? I have some other idea.
Oh. No, Mr. Chair, yes, I do have some input. Really like the first line opening, and then the second line kind of stubbed my toe on it. It didn't strike me as positive, like the very some of the other things. So I would recommend that, the line goes, when she disagreed with many ways the town. I mean, we all have disagreements. I don't know. This is something that's going to be out there on a sign forever and ever.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think
Maybe
we,
just either leave it out or rephrase it.
yes.
Yeah, but
Or
can't
take,
that- she rolled up her sleeves. and
Soften
ran-
it.
I would, yes, it's the very first part of the
Yeah.
second line that just, it hit me wrong. I like a lot of the other things, but I think it should be more pithy and concise.
Oh, when faced with adversity or something like that, she just rolled up her sleeves and.
Yes, yes.
I wouldn't even do that. I think if you take out everything before rolled up her sleeves, the successful write-in campaign for select board carries more weight.
Mhm.
Right.
I want the overall, I recommend the overall tone be very positive. We all that volunteer,
Yep, that makes sense.
one of the reasons why we volunteer is we know there's work to be done and others aren't doing it. And there's gonna be some negatives and some disagreements. It comes part and parcel
Right.
with doing these sorts of things.
Any project.
Right.
So what's the suggestion for that second sentence?
She rolled up her sleeves and ran a successful write-in campaign for select board.
Period.
Period, yeah.
Full stop.
Also shortens it. I mean, it is
Yes,
pretty
It's
lengthy.
a
I
little
thought it was
lengthy.
about
Yeah.
twice as long, maybe. What kind of sign are we gonna put it on?
Oh, I'm so glad. That's my segue. I mean, I
Okay,
know we're working
then-
on this.
Neon.
Okay.
So I've given my overall kind of comments. Unfortunately,
I think we heard it.
I hear some,
I think we concur, basically. How about, could we glean some guidance? Oh, wait.
yeah, maybe we don't tackle this tonight right here for a
Yeah,
vote
we
on
can
it.
think about it,
Is that
marinate
now
it,
that-
sort of.
yeah, yes. and
Marinate
then,
it?
I had some ideas, but I just didn't have time to really capture the right words. I thought it was a little too long and a little too detailed, and things can be more generalized to make it more concise and pithy.
Are you at a good stop? Oh, go ahead.
Yes,
Well, so you're saying, like, everybody go back, and if you want to make a few changes, make changes.
make
and then we'll-
suggestions, yeah,
Okay.
like,
And perhaps shorten
I'll
it.
I'll
try
vote for that. I
and
think that's a good
grab
idea.
a
And-
line or, a couple of lines and then we can talk
Yeah.
and try to combine some of the, I don't know anybody else sent in actual comments yet.
I haven't seen
No.
any.
Okay, then
Okay.
I just think it's
And
not
this is
ready
a
for
really-
the oven to
Okay,
bake
so,
yet.
But it's a really good starting point.
Yes.
and we're like,
Yes,
all right, Jesse
I-
did this.
We-
It is so good that someone who knew her well and knew what she did this. I might-
okay, so a summary of this then is, can everybody send your comments in the way what you think it ought to be done? I'll take all those and summarize them and come up with a version that takes all those things into account and send it out. How's that?
Okay.
Sounds good.
And before,
Jim?
oh, go ahead, Tim.
Does anybody know when it was she started the ad hoc open space committee?
We can look it up in the town report.
Says, because she was on the open space committee until her death
Good
in
luck with
2011.
Finding it.
I got them.
You
I
do?
got the town reports back to 18-something.
Well, just ask Jessie, because she was on it.
Yeah,
She
she was
started
the
it as
initial,
well.
yeah.
Yeah.
right.
I think it'll be fairly easy. I'll just
Yeah.
ask Jane
I'll just
McCauley.
ask
Oh,
Jessie.
yeah,
Jessie,
right, right, right.
That's right, ask her.
And
I'll take care of
before
that.
we leave this topic for this evening, I
That would be a
just,
good thing to put on there, yeah.
I'm going to suggest that maybe we could glean some guidance from the sign on the rock that's under her tree. How would you describe that? It's very simple. You hardly notice it. It sort of is organic. I mean, the rock, almost like, it's kind, I don't want to say crude, but that's not what I mean. But no, crude in that it's simple. It's sandblasted, but it's very unassuming. It's,
What's the implication of an ad hoc open space committee? What, is it
Anyway, that's my
a
2 cents.
non-official?
Yeah, that's ad hoc, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, it says as a select board member, she started it, so I'm guessing it was an official committee, but
It probably started ad hoc.
Oh, she started
before-
the committee to update the town's open space plan.
yeah.
That's what probably did.
If there wasn't any open space committee, who generated the open space plan without an open
First
space
time.
committee?
Well, a lot of towns use the regional planning agency
Oh,
or
okay.
some other consultant.
Okay.
Sometimes they grab whoever's already there. I mean,
So the-
some committees start and others end, and, they trade duties, depending on at what point in their formation.
One way to, how did you say it? I forget how you put it. One way to
glean guidance,
to make it more subtle, like
soften.
soften it, is not to put it right at the trailhead, but put it maybe out near Dottie Rock or,
Oh, that's right. Mark's
Some-
comment is turning into Times Square
yeah.
without the lights.
But if it was,
Too many
if
signs.
if the sign was placed anywhere in the woods where there was all just trees
Yeah.
behind it,
It'd be more effective.
it would kind of blend in
Yeah.
more, and yeah, it might even be more effective there.
I was thinking at one of the resting spots.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
At a bench.
that would be
Because
perfect.
some people, it can't be in too far in the woods, because some people wouldn't be able to
Right.
read it or get in there, because some people cannot get off the trail physically,
Yeah,
because of that's what the trail's for, people with
So that's our
illness and-
homework, to come up with a potential site for it. Because that's a big part of making it effective, or not, right?
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. But a lot of those
Effective
people
in a
don't,
way in keeping with her personality.
Yes, like you almost don't notice the etching in the rock there, but that tells the whole story in
Yeah.
like 2 sentences, or 1 sentence.
And I think it's a Mount Grace accessible trail over near the Connecticut River that has a bunch of interpretive signs. The signs are about this big, but the print has a photograph in the background.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
so-
You sent a picture.
That's it.
That'll
That's exactly
yeah.
what I was thinking about.
So it's kind of a faded photograph in the background, is that what you mean? Like,
Yeah, if
Some
you, yeah,
lighter.
if you could use that as the photograph, I think, that would work really well.
Oh, I think that, I thought of that too. I thought that would be a good way to capture that.
yeah, 'cause I think.
Yeah, I thought that was the reason
Not
why
take
that
up-
came up.
Not
Talking
take
about
up
it for
additional
years and I
space
never
on
knew
the
what it looked
sign.
like.
Right, right. I see determination just in her walk.
Do we have a sign person talk to you? I asked Mark about somebody to do a sign like this. Anybody got any ideas on who does that kind of stuff?
Or I can ask how they did these signs on the, pretty sure it's Mount Grace property.
Yeah, ask Mark
Yeah, I
where he
think it
went
is
for the
Mount
signs that we got. I mean, that's what they do.
I'll take care of that.
Down up by Northfield Mountain, on that same road?
Um,
And it was dedicated to a
no, it's not up
soldier?
there. No, it's down, it's south of Greenfield.
Oh, okay.
Near Deerfield, but on this side of the river.
Okay. All right, enough on that one? Good, so what I got is just notes on that. People are gonna send me their thoughts on the wording. And then also just send me where you think it might wanna go. I mean, there's several resting spots. There's a big resting spot out near Dottie's Rock, so that may not be a bad place, but, so. And that's right near the overlook, so. Maybe off to the side somewhere relatively close to Dottie's Rock or something. At any rate, send me where you think it ought to go. All right, that takes care of that one, that's good. That's been on the list for quite a while. Relative to moving forward with the grant, there's a few open things on this. And Rick, you're gonna take over as the administrator on that?
Yeah, Mark and I met with the new town treasurer a couple weeks ago
Okay.
to introduce to her how the whole thing worked and give her the details so that she
Okay,
knows what to expect and what's coming. Initially, looks like there's gonna be about $4,600 left over.
it's what, 4,600?
Yep. And because it was a grant for that trail, if we were to spend that money, which I think we should,
Yeah, yeah.
it has to be something for that trail. And we've talked about it having some interpretive signs on the trail. In the past, we've talked about that. But that's the number we're talking about for dollars and cents. And then Mark made a comment in his email to us about there's a new person that's
Yeah.
monitoring the grants, and he felt that the guy probably wouldn't want to stray too far from doing something specifically for the trail, even though it wasn't in the original grant request. So we've got to kind of. So the money for the grant was based on the grant request. The grant request had the details of what we were going to do. An interpretive trail or anything else really wasn't in it. Although signage was. So that's probably how we would possibly,
Interpretive.
yeah.
Well, yeah, because Mark had brought this up before, there may even be residual money from the
Yeah, and that's,
global grant pool where you
Yep.
could do a couple other things, because if I look at things we're thinking about from Malone Road, that trail area specifically, we were talking about some, maybe some fencing or something to try and keep the off-highway vehicles down. I know there were some estimates on that. We don't have a final one. I haven't met with Tim again on that, so that'll be coming up. But that would be one thing. The trail hardening on the Scout Trail, and I won't, that's another potential cost item. So we got,
Did you get that, Rick?
we have the sign, Scout Trail
Need another one?
hardening, and the heavy-duty fencing to try and keep off-highway vehicles out of there. And they're all related to the project, so.
well, as soon as we get the rest of the money, well, you don't get the money until you do the work, so.
Right.
So we'd have to front the
Yeah.
4,600, but then I'll be meeting with this guy at some point,
Yeah.
and then one of the questions is going to be, well, was
Meeting
there,
with the
Mass Trails.
Mass Trails, yeah, that'd be great to meet with him.
yeah, so one of the questions I would have is, so is there any money in the bigger pool left
Yeah.
over that, because we have some
Yeah.
other things that we could do with the trails.
Okay, so in between then, we can firm up potentially what we are planning on doing, so we can get some costs for the sign we're talking about. One of the things on the agenda, and I got a piece of paper on that, is the approximate cost to do the trail hardening. And then Tim and I are working on what the cost would look like for that deterrent stuff to address the off-highway vehicle situation. So over the next month, we can probably firm up those numbers so that it'll make that meeting with that person more fruitful. All right. Okay, and so I'll jump right to that one now too. The Todd had asked about this. So there's a little summary financial sheet on the table here. And this was just my preliminary estimate, and it's not too far off, because we've done this stuff before. So the total cost that we were looking at for the trail hardening is somewhere in the $7,400 range. The material is pretty accurate. It's, we need, I've gone over that with Mark. And if we get it from Graves, which would be probably the most expensive way, I don't know if Mark involved the town to get a little lower rate on the materials or not. Anybody know that?
Not that I know of. We
So
just
I'll-
contracted with the people that did the trail,
Yeah.
and they took care of the material. It was all part of the contract, so we didn't use the town.
We didn't use the town, so
No.
you just got it from Graves probably?
No, the people that did the trail, that actually did the work, they bought the gravel.
Oh, they bought it?
Yep.
Yeah, part of the confusion might be that initially we were gonna have it be government supplied material. That's what we were gonna do, but I believe, like you're saying, Rick, that changed and it was all put under the contractor. I forget how we otherwise made that procurement go the way we were hoping it would,
Yeah.
dollars wise.
But in this case, I don't see why we couldn't talk to Travis and see
Yeah.
if he gets a better rate.
All right, so there's just some nits and grits
Yeah.
relative to finalizing these things. So these costs are based on the recent Graves thing, so if anything, that's an outside cost, they might be a little bit less if we can use the town.
Maybe, yes, or maybe we can just go with a state contract.
Well, that's what,
Directly,
that's what Public Works would be
right,
going on.
oh, we don't have, I thought we had some lower level procurement authority. I guess it depends on the dollar value, what we can purchase directly, but we're still a government entity, so we should be able to use any state contracts or municipal contracts that we're authorized under. Public Works is probably the path of least resistance.
Well, yeah, I think they'll know about any municipal or state contracts that can be used, I hope.
While I'm not doing anything, I'll look up.
But have you done this before?
Apparently so.
Okay. I got lost trying to look that up. There's a lot of state contracts.
On the topic of possibly bringing this up to the Mass Trails people,
Massachusetts State Road Contract.
Mass Trails is gonna, for the extra money that might be out there, if there is money, it's gonna take some time to get that money. I don't know when you thought you wanted to do this work, but it might, it might
Well,
take 2 or 3 months.
We need obviously dry
Yeah, it
weather,
has to be after the mud season.
so
Oh, I know, but I'm
it's probably
talking
gonna
about,
be, it's probably gonna be at least early summer. With all the snow we got, we're not gonna have an early spring, and you can't do a lot of work out in that field area.
yeah, I'm talking about,
Huh?
I'm talking about
Year.
months.
Oh,
Because what it would be part of the, so Mass Trails has this big lump of money that they spread around to everybody and that applied for grants. So we've got till the end of the year to use that grant money. And that big pool, that grant money that's left over is good till the end of the year, and then it's gone. So we might not get the money till the fall, I mean, if we put in for this. So we may want to go to the Hubbardson Preservation Fund for this kind of money.
To
Oh,
front it.
maybe,
To front
it's
it.
what?
To front it, yeah.
And then if we
Total,
get it, we get it.
Because if we
Right.
can get it to be part of the grant, then that's just gonna come back into it.
Right, exactly.
So, yeah,
And then we'd know ahead of time if we talk to them, as long as we go to the, you know,
yeah.
the board and say, hey, guys, we're gonna need some money.
But we
Should-
can't get a grant for work that we've already done, right?
No, it wouldn't be for, it would be for hardening the trail.
yeah.
It would just be add-on to the original grant.
The grant requires us to put money up front. And they
Oh,
reimburse.
I know, but the actual work, I don't think can be done until after the grant's been approved.
True, but we don't have to tell the Hubbardson Trust people that we're gonna apply for a grant for it. We're gonna say, we may be able to get a grant.
No,
I'm just saying, go to them and say, we would like to have $7,400.
oh, yeah, no, I get that part, but I don't think we'll be able to, if we've already completed the work, we wouldn't be able to apply for
Oh, I see what you mean, yeah.
additional Mass Trails money
Well,
for that work.
hopefully, we would know if there's any money left over
Before,
Yeah.
before we did the work. I mean, we're talking summer at least, right?
Yeah,
Before we can do that.
yeah.
You know, we're
So-
expecting the $4,600 for what's left over for what we're gonna do with
For
the
signs.
Malone Trail for whatever, in the, you know, this coming month in March, so. So
So-
that'll close out that grant, and then we go back to them and say, oh, do you have any other money left over that you wanna spend? So,
Yeah.
So am I
Yeah, we-
hearing somebody needs to think about going to the preservation and going to Parks and Rec?
yeah,
Instead of just 74, what about saying 8? It's a nice, in case there's,
Well, there's also if we want to do something about the ATV barriers,
that's
we
added
we
on top.
don't have a number for that yet.
so what about, that could be, some, just push it up to 8. I bet they'll, you know, it's reasonable.
So that 4,600, that wasn't earmarked for anything at this point in time. That's just residual money from it. So that's
Signs.
relative to the projects we got, signs, the barrier stuff, or the trail hardening. I think those are the three things that we,
yeah, but we wouldn't be able to use the $4,600 for I don't think we'd be able to do them for the barriers. We can ask, but Mark seemed to
Well,
think that we'd have to stick pretty close to what
What it said in
what the
the
original
The
grant said.
original plan.
Yeah,
Right.
so that, and it's, what's left is mostly for signs, I think.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, $4,600 is gonna go pretty quick if we make
Yeah.
a bunch of signs. I don't know how much Mark, I'll know how much Mark spent on the signs. He's got the signs, so he's gonna put them in the spring.
So does somebody need to go to Parks and Rec?
Not
and
yet.
ask? Not yet. The sooner the better.
Well,
And then I'll know how much money is in there.
Well, it depends. That's up to Bob. If you're comfortable with that number, we can.
They'll have to
we
pay
can ask them,
attention.
yeah,
right?
okay. Well, maybe you and I will get together and we'll figure out how to go forward with this. All right. So that's that item. Relative to the markers on the trails, I sent a note off to Matty Stoddard to see if the scouts have got any money for those. Tim had a quote for this stuff, I think it was $220, and a small amount of money for some aluminum nails will go along with that. So the total cost for the emblems and the nails would be somewhere in the 220 range. I don't know if we really want to put that. We can, when we get together, Rick, we can see if we want to put, what we want to put into how we close out this thing financially and/or ask for more money when we meet with this guy. Relative to the signs for the new trails, the stuff, you got the cedar over to Katie, you probably need one more board for that, which we can take care of that, that's not a problem. But the noted action is, what do we want for a color for blazing the trails over there? Any
Yeah, does
thoughts?
anybody have any idea? I don't even remember what all the colors we have in the forest stars.
Well,
Do you, can you repeat colors, or do you do a,
I think it'd be good not to use what is on behind the chimney trail for moose tracks, because it's off of that. So
Okay, and is that a
moose
light
tracks is-
blue?
No, I think that's red. Isn't
behind
it?
the chimney?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know.
But now I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought light blue, but maybe that's Mill Pond.
How about,
Isn't Canesto Brook red? Canesto Brook tree?
Yep,
That's red.
Yep.
And that would meet up with,
Yeah.
so something other than,
how about scout colors? Except, you know, with whatever the scout uniforms are these days.
for moose tracks at Mount Jeff?
Yeah.
No, this has got nothing to do with the scout trail.
Oh, I'm sorry.
this
Yeah.
is for moose tracks.
The colors, the emblem is gonna be the color for whatever we buy from them. It's not gonna be any other painted blazing on the trail, that will be the blazing.
Yeah,
The two trails, the two new trails, will just have signs and then color blazing along the
okay.
trail like
Got it.
all the
And
rest
what
of our
Hunter does
trails.
on his signs is he puts the square of the color that you're gonna follow.
Sure.
So he wanted to know that color, and he wanted, that we
Then he
pick,
can
and he
move
wanted me to get
forward.
him the paint so that he can paint it that color. But he's, there, I told Katie and Hunter that we would put up the signs and blaze the trail with the colors above. I could do that, or whoever.
But they were doing the signs.
But they're gonna make the sign
They
because,
finish it.
yeah.
What about a new color then for moose tracks or something?
Oh, we-
Yeah, well,
Well,
I guess that's
that's
what
the
we're trying to
problem.
get
We're trying
at.
to figure out what's
What
the
colors
color.
are out there?
Purple, a bright purple. I don't know, something that.
And then
has-
headwaters, we need a color for headwaters.
Oh,
That needs to be bluish
Blue.
aqua or something, yeah.
That would
But
be
there's
the
already-
shape
color
of
for it.
Isn't one of the trails already blue?
waterfall.
yeah.
A
Isn't one of the
spring.
trails already blue?
Yeah, that's what we were just talking about.
I'm
And I
trying
was
to
thinking
pull
it was
up a
behind the
map.
chimney, it was blue, but I walked so many of those trails, I do remember seeing blue somewhere.
Yeah. How about
What-
orange?
I'm trying to pull up the map that's on the
Orange is-
town
I was
Yeah,
gonna
the
website,
four-wheelers blaze that trail.
if you want to go on to something
Oh,
else.
they did? Great, great.
That's a nice bright Hunter, it's orange.
Geez, in the
We
in the
can
spring, if I'm down
paint
there,
over
I
it,
might
right?
want to take some brown paint and paint over it.
Yeah, there's big
Yeah.
arrows and go this way.
Get a can of paint and just paint over them.
Mhm.
Yeah, because that's what Mark did when somebody did some stuff on a tree at the top of Mount Jeff. Remember he painted over the graffiti?
You think those were the all-terrain four-wheelers that, on this trail you're talking about? That
Oh,
was
yeah.
orange? It
Yeah.
wasn't mountain bikers or,
No,
No.
okay.
no, because they wouldn't, I don't think mountain bikers wouldn't, it's on a wicked steep slope too. Well, maybe, yeah, I guess it depends, but.
That's
well,
out of
four-wheelers
character
use
for
it.
them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So,
it's being used. by
regardless,
four-wheelers.
it's not
Yeah.
authorized.
Yes, correct.
Because I found some out there, and I think I showed Mark photos of what I saw. And Chris
Monroe.
Monroe, to see if these were rogue mountain bikers out there, not associated with any of the nice groups that we work with
Yeah.
and work with us.
Mhm.
So, I don't know. It was 2 years ago now.
Yeah. No, those people, I mean, they've done some work well over at the Link Trail originally.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I mean, they're very responsible.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, this, what I found was not responsible.
But the the paint that goes for the glazing, what do we use for that? Tim, do you know what kind of paint we use? Is it just oil-based, like Rust-Oleum oil-based or something?
I don't think it even needs to be
How
oil-based,
about-
an exterior acrylic paint.
How about we do this, it's just 2 colors and you wanna come up with a couple colors and run it by us?
Sure.
And then you can identify what paint we should
Yeah, 'cause
buy.
I included Mark in that email because I'm pretty sure one of the maps that he made
That's what Tim's looking for.
had all the line of
Yeah.
the, was the color that we blazed
Right.
it at. So then he had it all
I thought,
color
I
coded.
thought that was on the town website, and
I couldn't just ask him again.
Mm-hmm.
He could send me that map, 'cause- or we could just walk all the trails and take a notebook.
Or do you wanna-
well, I can take a walk up and look at the sign, the trailhead too.
There's an idea.
Oh, yeah, and the other thing was the correct spelling. Headwaters is one word. I think
Yeah.
That's what I came up with, and then Moose Tracks is 2 words.
Sounds good to me.
Okay,
Yep.
because it can be used as one, Moose Tracks. can be
Unless
one
it's ice
word,
cream.
Or 2.
That's all I think of when I hear moose tracks. It's so funny.
Well, about 3 snowstorms ago, I did a little cross-country skiing on the Moose Tracks Trail, and 1,000 feet onto the trail, there were moose tracks across the trail.
It's a sign.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
You should have plaster casted them
yeah, I should have.
Was it just one, could you tell?
or
was
put
it
a sign up, moose
I think
crossing.
it's just
Well,
one.
we-
Moose-
there's a lot of
Good
moose
idea.
activity out there.
Yeah.
And Steph and I were working on the trail.
This winter?
I think,
or-
no, last spring. The striped maple was just really coming up and the leaves bursting out. And I had heard that, from somewhere, that moose like striped maple. And the striped maple saplings were all eaten. Well, you know that they like striped maple? So. You want to take the thing on the colors and send it around? Do you want to do it, Tim, or Steph can do that?
Well, I'll go up and look.
Yeah, and I'll go down the trail, look at the Mill Pond and Canesto Brook. There's
Okay.
definitely one of those, I think Canesto Brook is red.
Yeah, there is a map that has it somewhere.
Well, right, the trailhead, I'm pretty sure Steph's right, the sign that Mark had
Okay.
made up has the trails in the same color that they're blazed.
So where's that, right
He's a
about
smart
Jeff?
guy.
Yeah,
Maybe tomorrow we can just go over to Mount Jeff and take a look.
He trudged through
All right.
the hill to get to the sign.
A side note, going back to the Matty Starter thing on the 220, we'll see, I asked her, and I haven't heard back from her, if there was any funding that the Scouts had as part of the Eagle Scout project. I don't know if they had a budget for whatever they were doing. And then asked her about installing the emblems. And I have not heard back from her. But in the event that they don't have funding, then that cost would be $220. So I'll wait at the next meeting, then we can decide what we want to do with that. Or it might possibly get, if we come up with a way we can incorporate it into the grant, because it's part of that overall trail project, maybe we'll try to do that. So,
Usually on that point, Bob, usually, from what I recall, is that the Eagle Scout projects address funding. Doesn't mean they're gonna provide it, but they
Come up and identify what
they
the cost is.
identify sources, and sometimes I think they, do fundraise, part of the Eagle Scout project is to organize it. And
Yeah.
one of the organizing issues is fund sourcing, so.
But I think I think her project is done. Just right? Is it?
Must be.
Yeah.
But it might have addressed it. And, you know, I know that from talking to Katie on other things, that sometimes they need to follow through, you know, and complete. The project might be done for the purposes of, you know, just like a contract, you have a warranty on it, you have, you know, it's not unreasonable to go and ask and find out what the plan was,
Yeah.
because that'll add to her learning experience regardless.
Yeah.
Kind of like a punch list, sort of thing.
Kinda like.
All right. Any news on the sand pit overlay or whatever it's called?
Yeah, well, it's in the hands of the planning board as of last month. I attended the meeting, Jassy attended the meeting. The final wording that that Nietzsche had submitted for any zoning, and the final wording would apply to whatever the planning board decided, so they had lots of options. But they came up with the wording for all the options and submitted that to the planning board. And the planning board meeting at that point in time was the members of the planning board asking questions. The Nietzsche people were there, asking why they worded it this way, asking, you know, what that meant, that kind of thing. And last week, Nietzsche came back with the edits that the planning board suggested at that meeting. There was a planning board meeting, which I didn't watch or go to, I think last week, but it's basically on the planning board agenda right now, so you can go to the town website and look at, and watch the meetings and see what the
Okay.
agendas were, to see where it is, but it's in their hands.
All right.
Rick, do you happen to know if that will be a warrant item on the annual town meeting?
Yes, it will be.
Okay, thank you.
And they do plan, one thing that came up at the meeting is they do have a plan to have a public
Hearing?
well,
Input?
here, you know, yeah, public, here's what we want to do, you know, public comments, et cetera, et cetera. So they are planning that. They haven't scheduled it yet, but, so, you know, keep an eye on it. And I suppose just go to the agendas that the planning board submits and see, you know, what meetings they're going to be talking about it, and you'll find out, you know, where they stand with it. But Nietzsche's done. Their contract has been closed out, the $50,000.
50 grand?
All right.
Yeah. I'm just curious, this
Well,
sounds...
we got a grant for 50,000, so
Oh.
Nietzsche charged the town 50,000.
Makes sense.
I'm in the wrong business.
Well, it went out for bids, and all the bids came in at $50,000 from all
What
the
a
people who bid.
coincidence.
There were like 3 bidders, I think, if I remember
Oh,
right.
gee.
Makes sense.
That's a whole nother
It
thing.
went out for bid, and the amount in the bid, they knew ahead of time the maximum they could bid, so everybody bid the maximum.
It's not a
Um,
game.
All right. Moving along, the hay contract. And so the story with that, nothing has been done from the town side. So back maybe November, December, Nate was going to send me something associated with that, and then that never happened. And then we have, do we have a new official town administrator?
We do, an interim.
An interim.
Interim.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay.
Sean Fitzgerald is his
Yeah.
name.
Sean Fitzgerald.
But he's really tied up, so the idea was, well, let's be proactive and come up with a draft of what we'd like to see in there. So Rick and Tim got together and they sent that around. And that's a really great starting point from that. The meeting itself, I don't think we want to get into the final wording on it, but how do you want to proceed relative to arriving? I had a few minor comments on it. Some of the things that I had seen for these types of things, that a longer contract, you get a more, better buy-in from the farmer that's taking care of it, if he knows he's gonna, put fertilizer and stuff on it. So a hay contract that involves that kind of ownership and relationship to the land, a longer contract is a good idea. And you did have some wording in there of 5, but then, well, my suggestion was maybe make it a 10-year contract. That's what I had seen in some things. But the wording in there is a 5, but then the town has the option of extending that without going out for bids, I guess, 1 year at a time for, I don't know for how many times they can do that. Forever?
I don't know.
It's usually set for a maximum term. So many option years with a not to exceed, let's say, 10 years. You might get an initial 3-year contract and then options to extend 2 more years for a total of 5. Something along those lines is not unusual.
Well, what are your thoughts on how to finalize this, Rick, and then we can submit it to the town?
Well, so there are 2 ways to do it. And we don't even know if the town will allow that or the town council will. But what we had talked about was annual extensions, and that which allows the bidders or the successful contractor to adjust its price accordingly on an annual basis, and we have the ability to say, yeah, no, we don't like that. And then you suggested 5 years with a 5-year extension. And, that's one of the things we got to decide which way we want to go with that. The 5-year extension ties us up for another 5 years.
Which is a decade. I mean, that's a
Which we
chunk
may
of
not
time.
want to do. And we can get the same result with, as Mike was suggesting, by
3
doing
years plus 2?
annual extensions up to a maximum of, whatever, 5 years.
Okay, but how do you want to enter the final wording? Do you want to have a little meeting just to address that?
No, let's just address it now.
Huh?
Let's make a decision now. I mean,
Okay.
and that's,
Doesn't the annual sound too short for a farmer? That's what I was hearing from Mr. Lane, right? You don't
well,
want to go year.
first, the initial contract is 5 years. Okay, so starting
So
off with that,
that's-
5 years.
That's long, because he
Yeah.
can
Well, you
do
said
the-
3 and
Yeah,
then
they had
2.
been, they had been 3, I believe, so 5 years.
The last one was 5.
The last one was 5
Yep.
too? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a long time. Did it work out? Was it satisfactory?
Yeah.
We just didn't keep track of it.
Well, but the fertilizer did or didn't happen.
Well, the fertilizer didn't.
Wasn't a requirement, though, was it?
It was-
He
it was-
brought it up in the meeting.
Yeah.
All right, well, then I like the idea of 5 years, and then 1 year at the discretion of the town for a maximum of 5 years. How's that?
Okay. Yeah.
Sounds good. So
And
then
then
it
it's-
could be a total
Does
of
that
10
make
years.
sense?
Yeah.
Are you good with that?
Yeah.
So, Mr. Chair, are you looking for a motion?
I think Tim had some.
I had a question. I can't remember what we said about fertilizing.
Well, let's save that for later in the conversation here. That's a question I have too.
Well,
Because if we
But
can
aren't they
make a
related?
motion, it'll be debated. I mean, that'll be the, say, if we have a motion that's seconded, then the chair will open it up for debate. And we
Well,
can bring up all
right,
these
so
things.
let me just list the things that we have to decide. One is the contract length that we've just discussed. One is, we did put in there that we were going to require fertilizing. The previous contract did not require it. It was ambiguous. It said,
may fertilize.
yeah,
May.
you could fertilize it, and if you do fertilize it, it has to be done after a soil test. So the question is, when we talked about this at one of our other meetings a couple months ago, whenever, we said, well, and in fact, it was when Lance was here, we were saying, well, yeah, I mean, let's keep the fields productive, so, because it's to the benefit of the town to do that. But that's gonna require fertilization, which hasn't been done. And then the question was, and I brought this up with Nate at the time, how about we buy the fertilizer? And, because Lance was okay with doing the fertilizing, but he has to factor that into his bid if he's gonna buy the fertilizer. And Nate said he didn't wanna have two contracts, a contract for buying fertilizer and a contract for doing the hay. Let the person who won the hay contract do it all, which makes sense. The problem with, there is not a problem, but what whoever is bidding on this has to factor into the cost of the fertilization.
Yeah.
Which
And
is higher than it used to be. I mean,
Right.
just, we're
So-
still, right?
And Lance was saying,
So
you know, if I have,
fertilizer and also lime.
We, oh,
well, the
How
whole,
about- weed control. Is it just for fertilizing? Is it for?
well, there's wording in there about, keeping down brush along the sides and stuff like that. It's not required. It's right the way it's written now, and it wasn't the last time around. So, if we get too into the weeds with it, literally, we may not get anybody bid it besides Lance anyway, so, because nobody else bid it last time either.
I'll take Nate's point. We only had one bidder. I see from a procurement perspective how Nate would say, well, I want just one to do it. Well, that makes it easy, and convenient. Yeah, I'd like life to be easy and convenient, but it sounds like maybe the other contract, because we only had one proposer, one bidder, they're saying too much risk. Usually the fertilizer is the risky part. So if we did separate it and do government furnished material, that's a way to manage it so that it spreads the risk. So you can have it easy and not have competition, or you can make it less easy on us or less convenient, but take some of the risk away from the proposers, so we may get a broader field of people of interest. So I can argue it either way, but I would say, based on the fact that we didn't have interest, that maybe we should accept a little more of the risk and maybe more seriously consider the government furnished materials.
Well, last time around, fertilizing wasn't required,
Right.
so there was no risk at all. You just bid on doing the hay,
And we didn't get
and you only got
only one
bidder.
proposer. You're arguing my point for me. Thank you, Vic.
So, but then somebody's got to be the one taking care of buying the fertilizer, et cetera, storing it,
Mm-hmm.
right?
And
So,
That's
and
not convenient.
arranging
Leaning towards
application.
the farmer providing the material. I don't know, what do you think?
I don't know that we've got enough work to do as volunteers in this town. I don't think the Open Space Committee wants to take that on. I don't know, do
No.
No.
No, I would like to have the farmer take care of
Yeah,
it, incorporate it into his bid.
we? I'm okay with easy.
So-
Lance was okay with it. He wanted to warn us that, and I'm making the assumption that Lance is gonna bid on it, so I'm not saying we want Lance or don't want Lance, but when he met with us, he said, yeah, I can do the fertilizer, but right now, fertilizer costs are through the roof. And-
Right.
And so is, at the time, so is diesel. And those are his two main costs, other than keeping his equipment up.
Spread the risk, that's what you were saying, right?
Yes.
I think maybe we can do some due diligence on what fertilizer costs, so that when the bid comes in, or maybe we ask him to separate the cost of the fertilizer out as an item, as a line item on his bid.
Could the fertilizer come from the preservation fund then? Because we don't have that kind of money, open space.
No, the fertilizer, he pays us a certain amount of money for the hay.
Right.
That's basically what happens. So what he's gonna pay us is gonna be, he's gonna take his costs and what profit he wants to make, and that's what he's gonna bid. So,
I'm thinking back to hearing him talk, and the fertilizer was the sticking point, because it's so, for him to make that investment, he needs to know it's a sort of a long-term.
yeah, and that's what we're giving him though.
Does anybody remember what he said? I think the fertilizer lasts about 3 years.
Yeah, I thought so too, 2 or 3 years.
2 or 3
You
years.
don't have
So,
to do it every year.
no, right.
Right,
And it
okay,
takes a
that's
year to,
important. It's not
you gotta
annual.
plow it at the
Correct.
right time.
The
and it's-
fertilizing
it's
is not
gonna have
annual.
good effect until the next year.
Oh, there's
after
debate on that too,
application.
is it better spring or fall too? But I'm not a farmer, so I don't.
Nitrogen in the spring and potassium and
Oh, okay. He's a
phosphorus in
farmer,
the fall.
knows.
Well, but if you put the phosphorus and potassium on in the fall, more of it's gonna leach out or run
Oh,
off
that- there's that
before
too.
anything gets to use it. And most of these fields have some slope to them, so
Yeah,
I'd rather see it all done in the early
Well-
summer.
Yeah, and my take on it would be after the first cutting.
Yeah, exactly.
ooh, this sounds
And
like a
so one
meeting
of
of the
my-
minds.
Well, one of my questions was gonna be, do we want to dictate when the fertilizer gets done? And we talked, when Lance was here, about, well, we don't have to do all the fields the same year, we can do.
Rotate it.
That's a
we can
good idea.
Yeah.
alternate years.
That spreads the cost out then too.
Spreads out, if he's doing the work in the middle of the growing season, it won't take as much of his time each year.
Right.
That's a really
Why
good
why
idea.
don't we put in there that he's responsible for it and just have him submit
Well, that's the
what
way
his
it's written now.
plan would be?
That's the way it's written right now. The only question I really had was, do we want to specify when it gets done?
Let's leave that up to the farmer.
I'd rather, he was,
Oh, okay,
he wasn't,
yeah.
he said what he thought, but it isn't what is normally done. He was going to do it in the fall, as Tim was mentioning. And typically, the best time to do
So
it
what are you gonna put in there, just fertilize
after the first cutting.
And then you're gonna put in there the schedule, like every 3 years? or-
And rotation.
Yeah, rotate. I'll get specific about the
Would it be basically
fields.
3
All right, well, why
fields
don't
to
you come up with
rotate?
what you
There's
think
8
is some
fields.
appropriate words for that, and then
I
send
mean, in
that back.
chunks.
So the
Yeah.
fertilizer
Not
was
3
one thing,
fields, but
then
3
you had,
chunks.
Oh.
what else is we gotta?
Well, again, on the fertilizer, it requires that the fertilizer gets applied based on the soil testing. Who's going to pay for the soil testing? Do we put that in there that he pays for that? Or do we pay for it?
How much is that about?
I don't know.
Wouldn't it be
I
nice
gotta-
if
I got to check with the Mass.
we feel like a team
UMass.
working on this instead of, Lance having to be doing everything?
Well,
Does
that's-
anybody know how much soil testing is?
I got to contact UMass to find out what they
Yeah.
charge.
The hay testing isn't that much, right? So,
We don't have to test the hay.
no, but I'm just saying, maybe it's a very simple,
You need to test the pH, the nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus, if you really want to get fancy, things like,
Magnesium.
boron, magnesium, stuff like that. But I can find out how much it costs. The question is, should we just have him do that? And, we've all met Lance. Is he going to be willing to go to that trouble? I mean,
I think maybe we should take that on somehow. What do you think?
again, I'd rather make it easy and make him do it, but I'd want to see the results.
Mm.
Yeah, that's the hard part, because how are you gonna?
I don't see that being his bailiwick, exactly.
Well, I don't either.
Right.
So then that means it has to be done by somebody else, because we want to get it done and get the results.
And
Right?
it also kind of dictates how much fertilizer
Hmm.
you use. I mean,
Per square foot, or, yeah. Got some good ideas, though, the rotating, and everybody,
so the question is, do we have him pay for it or do we pay for it? And I don't know what they cost. Maybe it costs a couple $100 per test. We got 6 fields.
6 or 8, but I don't think it's a couple $100 per test.
No,
don't think so.
Well, why don't
But I
you-
guess we
why
gotta
don't you-
find that out first, but,
Why don't you talk to UMass
Cost of
and then
agricultural soil
get
test.
to, about the soil testing and fertilizer and stuff like that, and what they would recommend for testing the fields.
Yeah.
And how to get that done. Maybe they have some ideas and,
Oh, I mean, how to do it is, that's, you just send them, you take the samples and you send it to them.
yeah.
I may have an answer.
Yeah, go ahead. AI.
Agricultural soil tests typically cost between $10 and $70 per sample for standard nutrient analysis, or roughly 50 cents to $14 per acre. Okay?
Yeah.
For field scale testing. Basic routine tests usually cost 10 to 20, so let's see.
Yeah,
if we got
that's,
something.
I mean, you got this big field, you take soil sample,
You have to take it from different
you
parts
have to
of
take it
Yeah.
from different parts of it if you really want to do it right.
Yeah.
Well-
Or you take your own samples and mix them all together and you come up with an average, because
Average, yeah.
he's not gonna do.
He's
you know,
not the scientist, yeah.
He's not gonna adjust to certain areas of the field. You kinda gotta, I mean, we're talking about bulk fertilizing here.
Mhm.
And lime, I need to
Yeah.
add that.
Are we gonna have a unit cost for the, if we have the contractor provide the fertilizer, are we gonna have him fill in a unit cost for that?
I'm
So that-
gonna have, I was thinking just have them split out. You know, my bid for the hay part, you know, he's gonna have to go out and find out what the cost of fertilizer are. We're not gonna.
Correct.
So have that as.
If we
have
include
that
it in
a-
his. But then is, usually when there's an undefined item in a contract, you can put in a unit price for material, like if there's removal of unsuitable material, and you don't know, or removal of rock, and you don't know what the quantity's gonna
Yeah, I know what
be.
you're saying.
You test for it, you know, you do soil borings and whatnot, and then otherwise you can get caught in a escalating creep of cost because you don't know, you don't tie it to a unit cost that you can stop at a certain point.
but you're imagining that we're gonna pay for the fertilizer?
No, that the contractor is.
No, I'm just gonna have, what I was thinking, Mike, was, again, we're talking about Lance in this particular case. It could be any contractor,
Correct.
okay? He's gotta go out and buy fertilizer.
Right.
Lance made it very clear to us at his meeting that he didn't want anything really complicated about record keeping. So what's the cost gonna be to fertilize these fields every, you know, fields 1 and 2 on year 1, fields 2 and 3, 3 and 4, et cetera. And just put that as a line item, separate. In other words, it's not one cost. He's got a cost for the haying, but also what it's gonna cost to fertilize.
Sure. I guess I didn't finish explaining is that when you have a very volatile cost, you can say, give me a unit price per ton of XYZ
No, I know.
fertilizer, and base your bid on 500 tons, or whatever the number is. Because otherwise, especially for a multi-year contract, the volatile pricing is going, I'm not making any money and I'm having to pay you, and those are the arguments that come
Yeah.
up from contractors in one way to limit their risk and protect our interests so we don't get into, I mean, this is a small contract, but the concept still applies, is that you can use, I'm just saying, it's another tool, a procurement
Yeah.
tool, that it could be written up as a unit price for fertilizing, the material cost of it. I don't care about the labor and equipment,
Well-
that's all on him, because that's not that volatile. You know, he controls that much more than he does a single volatile material.
Yeah. So we know the acreage of each field, right? And if we say, okay, you're gonna fertilize fields such and such and such and such this year, and down the line for the next 5 years, he'll how much, he'll throw in a number for fertilizer based on the current cost and the number of acres. So-
Yep.
I like our idea. Why don't you contact UMass and come up with a tentative plan? You'd probably get some much better feedback from talking to those people about the fertilizer and a good schedule for doing it and whatnot. And then come up with what we think it ought to be.
Oh, yeah, I'll check fertilizer prices too.
Yeah.
I mean, I can do that.
I'm willing to collect soil samples. Anybody got an auger?
I got
Yep.
a 9-inch one now.
No.
I got like a post hole digger.
No.
Yeah, I got the hand post over.
That's
We have
what
an
this
auger
is.
on our tractor.
Yeah, no,
Oh, you got an
no.
auger?
A soil testing auger has a diameter of about an
Yeah.
inch and a quarter.
Oh.
And
Well,
it's
I got a-
and it's a hollow tube.
Yeah, and you take a plug, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you got one?
no,
Is
but
it-
maybe I'll have to get
Not
one.
yet.
Is it
Not yet, that's right.
new business?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, are they super, like $20 or $120 or
All right, let's see
Yeah.
if we can get past this.
the latter?
Okay,
Probably halfway in between.
So,
70.
70
see, what was the other?
Well, maybe we need to buy one as a committee.
No,
That would be about $70.
So,
I could use one.
you had some
I need
wording
to
changes,
test my
Bob, that was
soil.
fine.
Yeah. Yes and no.
Scoring system for the bid award.
Yeah, relative to, in my feedback, like the contract for the sand pit and whatnot, we had a scoring system that got employed and whatnot. And I just don't like the idea of just a plain cost and lowest cost, highest cost, highest bid wins the contract, end of story. I mean, there could be some things associated with whatever the person puts into this bid about care for the lands and et cetera. And I had a few ideas that I think I put in there.
Yeah, so the amount of bid, the fertilizing, he's gonna be required to fertilize, right?
Okay, so that
So
was-
it doesn't need to be scored on. Improving the fields, like cutting back in growth. The current wording in it is any clearing of the field edges that,
Yeah, there is
that
some
he
wording
does.
in there now on that,
yeah, anything he does, any increase in the production, he gets to put in his pocket. So, it's hard to say how much that would be, or even if he's willing to do it or not. I know that the field at Malone that gets hayed now used to be, when we moved here, it was a Christmas tree farm, basically, right?
That's right.
And Jassy,
I spent about $12,000 on that.
yeah,
Getting it
Jassy, he,
oriented.
yeah. Lance, maybe his dad, probably his dad, did the clearing of that and turned it into a hayfield. And so you said, Jesse said it was 12 grand.
Well, I just remember reading about it at some point.
So,
What field was that?
What?
anyway,
Which field was that?
Where Jesse's Meadow is?
so I don't know how you,
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Over
used to be
that.
Christmas trees.
Down in
Well,
the-
you had some
No, all right,
general
Malone and
wording
Fields, you're right.
associated with the highest bidder.
Coming down
Oh,
Malone. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Blah,
Yeah,
blah,
so the-
blah.
The
Maybe
table
just as
is.
something
Yeah.
associated with the wording in the response, although from
Wonder what happens
Lance,
to those poor little
I
trees.
wouldn't expect too much in the way of
Right.
sophisticated, eloquent wording in the response, but
yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe put some wording in here about how would you deal with the edges of field brushes,
Yeah.
keeping that clear. If I remember right, at our meeting, I'd have to go back and look at my notes. When he was here, he doesn't have the equipment to do any heavy-duty brush clearing, you know? So I was thinking, at least for the bigger fields, mean, the town has a big old
Boom mower.
boom mower, yeah, that they do alongside the roads. They did Route Road here last year, clearing the brush. And it doesn't clear it enough to grow hay there, but at least it gets it down to a point. So I don't know, how we make that a requirement that they do it.
Yeah,
Well, you state it as a contract requirement.
Well, then we don't get any bids.
We won't get any bids.
Well, then you don't state it, and you do it by others, or you allow encroachment. We can't have our cake and eat it too.
Right.
We either can clearly make it a contract requirement and come up with the wording, or we exclude it from the contract and find it a different way, or we do nothing. I mean, there's
Well, we
always.
can't do the nothing, right?
Oh, you can
Well,
always do
We've been
nothing.
doing that too
I'm
long.
not recommending it, but the do-nothing approach is always an option. I'm not saying it's a
good.
desirable one or the most desirable. I'm just saying do-nothing is an option.
The draft agreement, the way it's worded now, is pretty much the way it was worded in the last agreement,
Yes,
right?
exactly the way it was worded.
So, I mean, there's been some encroachment where trees have fallen down into the fields, but, and there's loss of productivity of the fields because of the trees are getting taller and the branches are shading
Shading.
more of the
maybe,
field.
maybe just
And the
in
brush is growing
in the
up.
Yeah.
Well,
request, when the response, just have the bidder just describe what his plans
Good,
are.
that's a good idea, yeah.
And how are we gonna score that?
Well, you get somebody that doesn't address it, and they're not gonna do anything, and then somebody that describes what they plan to do for encroachment or trees, or, I don't know.
But keep it simple.
I don't wanna make this thing too complicated,
Yeah.
obviously, maybe just leave it like it is. I just didn't like the idea of just a pure cost. Mr. Stoll?
Yes, Mr. Chair. I think we have a fundamental procurement question here. Is this going to be an IFB, an invitation for bid,
Yep.
or an RFP, a request for proposal? If it's an IFB, we're not going to be scoring anything. It's basically the low bid or high bid, depending on what you're asking for. If you're going to be scoring it, then that's usually an RFP. So I think we need to get our procurement mechanism kind of straight up front, and then some of this becomes moot. Because if it's an IFB, there are certain procurement rules you follow. And those are the less complicated ones and the less, you get less control. You basically give them all the requirements, and you just get a number back.
Yep.
If you want to evaluate it for subjectivity, then you do what you were proposing and what we were discussing. But I think there's a fork in the road, and we need to pick the fork, or at least investigate that with town council or town administrator.
Well, the last time around, it was an IFP, and Nate's intent at the time was going to be an IFB.
Okay.
Now, whether the
So does an RFB?
IFB.
IFB, invitation for bid.
Okay.
And I don't see a reason to make it an RFP.
Okay.
Then I don't think, and please check me and provide your comments, but there's no scoring of an IFB.
All right,
Well,
well, that's fine.
We can score it anyway, you know.
Yeah,
It's
not
not a
natural
written
in
score,
that
it's
form.
okay, we've got these three bids.
Doesn't lend itself
Here's
to
the
that.
prices, you know,
Uh-huh.
and what is this guy gonna do for the price? He's gonna do what's on the thing here, right?
I'm gonna let the procurement experts address that, but I think we're gonna find out that we're gonna have less flexibility, and you're gonna do the bid opening, and normally at the end of a bid opening, as long as they were responsible and responsive and responsible, where they met all the contract requirements that, you know, for like insurance, and they submitted all the stuff you're gonna submit, unless you have a reason to disqualify them.
They have to
there's
provide a
not-
list of equipment.
If that's what it is, they provide that.
Yes, so if there's brush clearing equipment listed there, then you know they've got the ability to do it, right?
Sure, but then you don't have to evaluate it.
Right.
Now,
I know what you're saying, Mike.
okay. And I'm not familiar with
We're-
Massachusetts state procurement requirements, but these are pretty standard concepts that are used, you know, across government contracting.
The only other question I had was, Bob, you mentioned, we have to, you know, when do we want the bids back by? And you were suggesting April 15th, and I'm thinking maybe even sooner, maybe like March 30th.
Months from now.
Yeah, well, assuming that the TA gets it out the door, yeah.
Well, the only reason I put it out just a little bit is, you gotta get that done. We gotta meet with the town, and you're gonna have maybe 2 weeks, so you're gonna send it out and ask for a response back in 2 weeks?
I would hope that it doesn't take the town 2 weeks to say, yeah, let's go
I
ahead.
guess.
I don't know.
You're gonna have to be a squeaky wheel.
I'm looking at it from the standpoint of the bidders. They want to line up the work they're gonna have to do. In April, they're not gonna have their equipment out in the fields because they're gonna be too wet, especially with the snow we've had. But
Yeah.
they're gonna want to know, it compresses their season, and they're gonna want to know, I'm gonna have these jobs to do.
We're using the pronoun "they," but there's probably only one. so-
Well,
But you have to.
we don't know that.
You have to, that's
Yes,
right, you have to
I
plan
understand
on.
that, but it's sort
Well,
of,
one or three, it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
okay.
They want to know,
yes, they need their schedules.
you know, if he's already, if a guy that does this already has other contracts lined up, he comes in and he says, okay, I'll bid on this, but I'm gonna bid a lower number, you know, because I don't really need the work, but I'll do it if, you know, if it's easy money, if it's an easy job. But by April 15th, these guys know what fields are gonna do. I can tell you Steve Prouty knows exactly, you know, he leases land and he does hang for people outside. So
It's already in place, I mean, yeah.
so I guess what I would think would be March 30th and just push the town to get it done. Because we need, for exactly this reason. You know, do you want the fields hayed or not? You know, we know Lance will do it, but some other people might not be interested because they've already got their work lined up.
Okay.
The other question I had on there, Lance, when he came in, he was talking about some simplification to the proposal, and I forget his exact words.
Yeah, so we wanted to get we wanted a number for last time around for first cutting and then second cutting. And he just wants one number. He knows
For
he
the
knows how
year,
many,
an annual number.
an annual number. He gets to change, he gets to put different prices for every 5 years. So he can factor in any price increase he expects for fertilizer or whatever. But he just wants one number for any haying he does. And so that was his comment on that. The form we gave him last time around, he never, to my knowledge, he never submitted it when he sent the check in.
Yep.
When he handed you the check that time he came to see you?
Drops it off and that's it.
Did he give you the form with it?
No.
So,
Well, should it be just a total amount per year? Never mind how many bales he cuts?
well, that's kind of what it is.
It is, okay.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a, where is it here? Come on.
So if I summarize that, so he just wanted one number for hay in those fields?
Yeah,
Period.
yep. And the point, his
I
point
guess
was,
it is sort of a, whether you break it down like we broke it down, it sort of adds up to the same thing, right?
yes, it does.
I mean, the guy's gonna come back with a number, now there may be some rationale behind it.
So the way the wording was and still is right now is that we were requiring to hay the fields twice a year, but weather conditions may dictate that he can only do it once.
Yep.
So basically, he wants to know what he's gonna make to do the, I mean, he's a simple guy. He just wants to know what he's gonna make. And the only factor really that is a variable for him is the cost of fertilizer and diesel, right? So, and the way it's written now is simple, you know. I mean, we're talking about, you know, $2,000 a year here. We're not talking about,
Yeah.
you know, one of the questions I had of Nate was, why do we have to go out for bid at all? You know, he said, well, it's great. How long's the contract? I said it was 5 years before. He said, well, if you're making 2,000 a year, that gets us up to 10,000, and we're required to go out for bid for 10,000. You know, and it may be 2,000 one year, it may be 1,500 another year. Probably over the last 5-year period, I'd have to look it up. We probably didn't make $10,000.
I'm thinking like 17-ish, it seems, sticks in my head.
So the only advantage to having a bid in the first
1,007
place is having it in writing that this is what he's going to pay, so we don't get into, you know, butting heads somewhere down the line.
So right now, just pays per what he pays? There's not
Yeah.
a set amount? Sometimes he pays enough to pay 2,000, sometimes he pays enough to pay 1,500?
Yeah. Yeah, well, he has to hay the fields. It really comes down to, is there a second cutting? That's really.
So, on the contract, when we said, yeah, you're a good partner, this is a good deal, was there somewhere in their contract where it said like, well, you're gonna pay us 2,000 every year
Oh, he has to pay per acre, per
bale that he gets?
per acre. yeah.
No, they just, well, in
I
his
understand
background.
how some years it's 2,000 and some.
It fluctuates, is what she's saying.
It's 1,500, if it's per acre, why would he pay more? Why would he pay 2,000 when he only
Right.
pay 1,500?
Yeah.
'Cause I think it was, the old contract, I think it, somehow the number of bales he harvested was factored into it.
Okay,
I thought so too.
so it wasn't
I was-
based
I
on
was-
per acre, it was based on how much?
Well, there was a unit cost associated with what he paid us, if it was by
Yeah,
acre or by bale.
Not a unit cost, it was a unit of,
Well, a unit of.
Year one, dollars per acre per cutting.
There it is.
Oh, per acre, per cutting.
Yes.
and it, are you looking at the contract?
The old one,
I'm looking at the bid response sheet, yeah.
which would be part of the contract.
So,
But that,
does it,
well,
so
this
does that
is
have
where
a
it-
dollar amount for each?
Well, this is a blank.
No, that's what I want to know, is what the contract says.
Oh.
Was the contract blank, where, so
No, he gave us a price. It was,
Yeah.
it says $47 per acre,
Per cutting.
per cutting. If I remember right, I'm going on the top. of
Okay, so that's why it's different, because some years, we only got one cutting,
Right.
Yeah. because of
and
the
some years, he couldn't even cut all of the field that's next to Malone Road,
Because of
Because
the
of
weather.
because it was too
Too
wet.
wet.
yep.
That's why you have to tie it to the acres.
Yeah,
So, but some years, if it's a really good year, then he could do 3 cuttings.
Theoretically, yeah.
I don't think they've ever got that.
Theoretically.
yeah,
Theoretically.
I don't,
Yeah.
The point.
No,
The wording,
Proudy's-
the wording,
Proudy's
the
got
wording
some
in the
good
wording in the
cuttings.
contract says if he's able to get a third cutting, he gets to keep the money.
Oh.
the more,
So it does address it.
So, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
the other part of it, even with just 1 or 2 cuttings, you know, some years, the first
Yeah.
cutting might be this, first cutting might be that the next year.
Yeah.
I mean, you can have very different yields.
And that was part of his point too, was, you know, if it's a bad year for him, you know, so be it, right? And he takes the hit. If it's a good year for him, he makes extra. That's the way he looks at it,
Yeah, okay.
so.
That makes sense. Thank
I
you.
just, I don't want
If
to
he fertilizes it,
belabor it.
if he fertilizes it, he's gonna get more hay, theoretically, right?
Yeah, and it'd be better hay and he
It'd
gets,
be better hay.
So he wanted, and maybe it is maybe just a simpler thing, because it sort of amounts to the same thing anyway, when you bid, just $70 per acre.
Well, that's the bid, and then it wasn't the bid so much that was the problem, it was the paper, the form he had to fill out I'm looking for it.
I don't suspect it was too terribly difficult.
No, it
It's
wasn't.
just oh, thank you.
It was-
It's just,
It's a
just-
style, it's a style.
I left the form in there, you know, it's not hard to fill out,
Right.
you know.
It's the
The
hand-
government needs its audit trail.
Yeah.
Well,
It's part of the contract.
it's not
either
not
in-
that easy to figure it out, because we're talking about multiple fields, multiple cuttings. Some of them can't be cut until after July 7th.
There's a lot of
Oh,
variables.
that was
That's what
my
you're saying.
question. Are there any natural wildlife
Yes.
restrictions? There
Yes.
are, okay. The bobbling?
Yeah.
Okay,
That would be it.
okay, that's,
But that-
the one and only.
That's a self-imposed by us.
Correct,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, do we want to take that out?
No.
No. Let the babies.
Then we'll hear from the Ware River.
It's only on it's on two fields. It's on the one right at the parking lot at the top of Mount Jeff.
Has anyone done the assessment? And Todd might be the
Yeah.
one to ask about that, but, you know, having been on the periphery of this before, is that, hey, they like these kind of fields, this size.
Oh, yeah.
And so we know,
Yeah.
we've targeted the fields that are most likely.
Yes.
How many bobolinks have we seen?
I haven't counted them, but yeah, they have a preference for the south-facing, the warmer fields and the bigger fields.
Okay. And we've seen them out there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
awesome.
I see 'em every year.
Todd went out and cut them a few years, counted them a
Oh,
few years ago.
good.
Instead of Freudian slip.
So it's the two fields. The one right where the parking lot is,
Yeah.
and the one across.
we
the
see
Okay.
that Sawyer's, yeah.
Guys, we've almost
If
spent
you
an
if you look
hour
at
on
it,
this.
Yeah.
the
Just saying.
farmers need
But
a
it's-
certain
But
yes.
acreage.
That's why
But
I
it's very
was,
simple.
10 acres.
my question was
could
answered
be,
by,
sort
yes,
of.
we've looked at the fields, and these are the ones that are high.
It's just those two.
Okay,
Yeah.
good, thank
So,
you.
That's staying.
The Ware River people came in and said, you have to do it for these two.
We have to.
We want
Remember
to.
that whole thing?
And we, no, let's
All
just
right.
put that.
Just real quickly here, since it came up, and I found it in the IFB. Expansion of productive areas. The field acreages listed in this license agreement represent the currently mowed field areas. However, it is desirable that existing brush and undergrowth be removed from the field margins, as set forth in the description of fields below. The payment basis for license fees shall remain at the original acreages specified in this invitation to bid for the duration of the contract agreement. To the extent that additional productive area for haying is created by brush clearing, this additional hay production shall accrue to the licensee as an incentive and compensation for
There it
performing the
is.
clearing
There it is.
work.
Desirable.
Nice going. Did you
Great.
guys write that?
Ooh,
No, Mark wrote that.
yeah, that's good stuff.
Most of this is from Mark, from his last time. We didn't change too much. Okay,
Okay.
I
now
got
that
the
we-
answers to my questions.
Now that we've
so
All right,
spent
you're all
45
set?
minutes on
Yep.
that.
Good.
I'm gonna try to get this to, what day
Sean.
is this?
Sean,
This is Thursday. Yeah, so
26th.
beginning of the week, I'm gonna get this done this weekend and send it out
Good.
to,
Thank you.
I don't know that there's anything we need to vote on. Is there?
Well,
think so.
the contract will be approved by the select board.
Yeah, that's
Well,
what
we're
I'm
not
thinking.
doing the procurement,
Right,
so,
that's what I was thinking, but,
okay.
okay.
I mean, I don't know what needs to be voted on and what doesn't, but it's certainly at this point, they can always say, hey, you guys should have voted on it, and we'll,
Well, no, I just thought the conversation should occur in public, recorded,
Should,
because we
yeah.
have a fiduciary responsibility. Okay,
All right.
thank you.
thank you.
You,
And
a
you,
lot of work.
Rick did most.
dream team right here.
Going back to the agenda, the off-highway vehicle issues, a public outreach group has not met,
No, not-
but we will this
we
month.
will, yeah.
This month. And Tim and I didn't get back together again, so he and I will get back together again on the deterrence aspect of it. That gets old business. Any new business?
Well, you've got an item.
Oh, I actually put an item.
Yeah.
Uh,
Name?
Rick sent around some emails that got initially surfaced by David Small from Athol. And it had to do with some land owned by Peter Haney. And also the Nipmunks were somehow linked into this too, right?
Yeah, well, no, not really, because Small sent a note to Anna from North County Land Trust saying he had this conversation with Peter Haney, who lives in Rutland and is very closely attached to the Nipmunks. At any rate, he sent this thing saying he had some conversations with him about this land that Peter Haney wanted to conserve, and it looked like he looked it up himself, Small did, and said, "Oh, this looks like it has some conservation values." So, and he sent a little map with it, and so I read the thing, and I looked at the map and said, "Oh, okay, yeah, I see it's in the middle of all this DCR land."
In Hubbardston.
In Hubbardston, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he lives in Rutland.
He lives
I
in
don't
Rutland,
care where
yeah.
they live.
Anyway, so I looked up Peter Haney and discovered that he was very closely aligned with the Nipmunks, maybe he is one, and drew the conclusion that the land, I didn't really look that close at that. I drew the conclusion that the land was the land right next to Malone, which is owned by the Nipmunk Conservation Council. The Nipmunk Cultural Conservation Council is the name of the organization. They own the land next to Malone. It's right, just, what was that, southeast of
Southwest.
right. Big piece of land.
Southwest of Malone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Between the western part of the Malone Conservation Area and Natty Pond Brook.
Natty Brook Pond, yeah.
Okay, does it get out to New Templeton then?
No, it's
It's
west.
land, yeah,
It's
it's
at the
kinda-
western end, not the eastern. New Templeton is east of Malone Road.
Well, anyway. So,
In relation to the vineyard, does it border
It's-
on the
no,
vineyard
no.
property? Does it border on your property?
No.
Okay, I'm just trying to locate it.
it's, if you go to the very back of Malone, the south side of Malone,
Okay,
that whole half-mile boundary is this other piece of property.
Okay.
It actually starts in the middle of Natty Pond. It's where the property starts, and it kind of goes down a little point, and then it spreads out, and it's a big rectangle. And anyway, so I made a mistake in looking at the land, and I thought it was that piece of property, not this. Turns out that the piece of property that Small talked to him about, when I looked at the map closer, that Tim said, "Hey, you're looking at the wrong thing."
see, my confusion?
Turned out to be what, 8 acres or some.
Oh, no, it was bigger than that, but
It wasn't very
anyway,
big.
is this,
So
I hope that, I hope this information from Small wasn't shared in confidence, since we're in a
No.
public meeting.
No,
No? Okay.
No.
Go ahead.
no, it was an open email he sent to a bunch of people, so.
Oh, okay. All right.
Anyway, so, so when I saw that, I said, wow, this land, this Peter Haney land borders Malone. I mean, if he wants to conserve it, you know, we could expand our trail system, we could, you know, protect that area alongside it and make a bigger, you know, thing. So I went down the wrong rabbit hole. And so I'm still waiting to hear back from Peter Haney.
He's like 80 years old, he's an older, you know.
Yes, he's-
Where is
It's
the
not-
land? So,
So it turns out, the land that we're actually supposed to be thinking about is not the property owned by the
Right.
Nipmuc
yeah,
Council next door to Malone. It's on the east side of Route 68. It's landlocked, surrounded on three sides by DCR land, right?
Yeah,
And on the east side by the railroad tracks, Boston, well, it used to be Boston Main Railroad.
It's on the
Right.
east side of 68?
Yeah,
yeah.
How
about
far
a half a
north,
mile
south?
north of us where we are now. It's,
but how
Over there.
close is it to the Dunkin' Donuts?
what's
Just
that?
kidding. Give me a landmark, other than north, south,
Well, it's
east,
south,
west.
south of High Bridge Road.
Yes,
Ah,
it's off of
Morgan
High
Road.
Bridge.
I
in
know
there,
where that is.
It's off of
right?
High Bridge Road.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
there's-
Now we know.
The wildlife management area encloses it.
Yes,
I don't know if it's all wildlife management. or
it's
some of it-
watershed.
Yeah, maybe some of each.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some of it is wild.
If it's just south of High Bridge Road, where it used to come out on 68,
It doesn't front on High Bridge Road.
No,
It's maybe a
but
half a
south.
mile south of there.
okay. So most of that is wildlife management area,
Yeah,
because it's got it posted as wildlife management area, because the hunting
Is it close to
rules.
that land that Tom and Jesse just donated?
no.
No? That's not too far from there.
No, it's not too far.
Yeah, but it's not really related. Anyway, so 2/3 of it is swamp. 1/3 of it, the third that's along the railroad tracks there is forest. It's in 61, chapter 61 forestry right now. And as Tim said, it's basically surrounded, so it's already conserved, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I don't know what interest we would have in it.
Yeah, all right.
But-
So we can forget that one.
But I want to talk to Peter Haney about the Nipmuc property and see what their plans are.
That's on the
for
other
it.
side of 68, right?
Yeah.
That's the one that's next to Malone.
Okay, but that also comes down towards 68, doesn't it?
Well, it doesn't go very far across Natty Pond Brook, so.
It doesn't go
They can't
across
make it
Natty
if
Pond Brook at all.
What's that?
Halfway.
It doesn't go across Natty Pond Brook at all. It's got a little point of it. It's in the middle of the pond.
Well, yeah, but it's in the pond.
Yes.
That's why I didn't say it goes to Natty Pond.
Because it doesn't even cross New Templeton Road.
Correct.
Oh, heavens no.
So I
Well,
wanna
that's
hear.
what,
I think
yeah.
this meeting's going on too long.
Is it the cliffs?
Anyway, the bottom line is, I want to talk to this Haney and see what the Nipmunks have plans for that, if any, for that property.
Because he
Yeah.
recently sold that to them for $2,
Oh,
right?
yeah, there's a whole long story
Because
on it.
Mark knew the name just like that, because I was into the Nipmuc thing at the time, and he knew the name, Peter, you know. Oh, so
Wow.
Peter
Yeah, Mark-
finally sold that, you know,
Yeah.
for $2.
Yeah.
But he got it cheap, too.
Oh, I did the whole history on the
Yeah,
thing, because
it
I
was
was
interesting.
hot to trot on this piece of property. But find out, that's not even the one that he was interested in conserving.
Anyway, so for another day.
But, yeah, so I'm gonna just keep after him and see what his plan, see if they have any plans for it, and
All right.
it might not go anywhere, probably won't. Okay,
So,
Next meeting?
are we typically the last Thursday? Are we going to stick with that?
Yes.
Yeah, because some of the
It's
other
all over the
groups were
place.
trying to find a night for
That
meetings.
also happens to be much.
Right? And
So
we're
what-
Tuesday.
Any other new business from anybody else? No?
God, no.
The last Thursday of March, and we got quite a bit on the agenda, so I think we should have that meeting, is March 26th, so. That okay with everybody?
Sounds
I think
good.
so.
It's already in my calendar. How about that?
Oh,
Okay.
You just put the last Thursday.
Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
And seconded.
All in favor?
All right, Tim.
Aye.
Oh,
Aye.
Aye.